Imagine Rome, not at its zenith, but asterisk, broken asterisk. Imagine the year 378 AD, Adrianople. The Gothic cavalry, a storm of steel and fury, is tearing through Roman legions like parchment. General Sebastian, whose arrogance was as vast as his empire's ambition, watched his lines crumble. Days before, a mysterious scroll arrived at his tent, a blueprint for victory. Sebastian, dismissive, sneered, "Impossible. We fight as Romans have asterisk, always asterisk fought." He crumpled the parchment, a prophecy of his own doom. He sealed his fate. He sealed Rome's fate. That day, 40,000 Romans died. But what if there was another path? What if years before, an anonymous genius had laid out a plan, a detailed, audacious strategy to asterisk, save asterisk, the empire? This is the story of asterisk, the general they ignored, who wrote Rome's Doomsday plan. Asterisk, a military treatise bursting with never-before-seen weapons and tactics, so revolutionary it could have changed history. It was called asterisk, De Rebus, Bellicis, asterisk. But who wrote it? And why was Rome, on the brink of collapse, too arrogant to listen? This isn't just a story of forgotten blueprints, it's a chilling echo of our own hubris. The year is 400 AD. While you're watching this, Rome, the eternal city, is suffocating. The empire, once a monolithic titan, is a bruised, fractured entity. Its borders, once unassailable, now bleed. Every single day, a new threat emerges from the shadows beyond the Rhine, beyond the Danube. Goths, Vandals, Huns, names that once invoked terror in their own lands, now whisper asterisk fear, asterisk into the hearts of Roman citizens. This isn't just a military problem, it's a cancer. If you stay until the end, you will discover the shocking truth behind Rome's ultimate downfall and the identity of the hidden genius who tried to prevent it. But the rot was not just external. Internal decay accelerated the collapse. Corruption, rampant and festering, gnawed at the very foundations of government. The legions, once the finest fighting force the world had ever seen, were hollowed out, filled with mercenaries, their loyalty bought, not earned. The once proud Roman citizen, burdened by crippling taxes, fled to the countryside, abandoning the crumbling grandeur of cities for a desperate struggle for survival. The infrastructure, the roads, the aqueducts, the very arteries of the empire, were crumbling. A silent countdown had begun. This isn't a slow decline, it's a rapidly accelerating freefall, and the consequences will be catastrophic. In just a few months, this fragile balance will shatter completely. The question isn't asterisks, if asterisks, it will fall, but asterisks when asterisks, and asterisks who asterisks, might have known how to stop it. This wasn't just decline, it was a surrender to despair, an epidemic of apathy. While the legions fought desperate, losing battles on the frontiers, their bodies piling up in frozen mud, the elite in Rome indulged in orgies of excess. Imagine this. 407 AD, the Vandals are pouring across the Rhine, burning cities to the ground. Yet in Rome, the city's wealthiest spent an estimated asterisk 25,000 pounds of gold asterisk annually on luxury goods, hosting banquets where rare birds were served on silver platters. While soldiers starved, this isn't just a moral failing, it's an economic absurdity, a betrayal of monumental proportions. Our own history shows us the danger of such disconnect. The ordinary citizen, caught between crushing taxes and barbarian raids, simply gave up. Hope was a luxury they couldn't afford. The public baths, Once vibrant hubs of social life grew silent. The amphitheaters, once roaring with cheering crowds, now echoed with sparse melancholic applause. The very soul of Rome was draining away, replaced by a quiet, pervasive melancholy. They saw the end approaching, felt it in the stagnant air, yet felt utterly powerless to stop it. This wasn't merely a lack of leadership. It was a deliberate blindness, a collective delusion that convinced the powerful that their insulated world would remain untouched. But the whispers of decline were growing louder. Soon they would become a roar, and one man knew precisely what that roar foretold. But amidst this suffocating despair, a single defiant flame flickered. A man, anonymous, yet burning with fierce determination, saw not just the decay, but the blueprints for salvation. He toiled in secret, his quill scratching furiously against parchment, driven by a desperate, almost suicidal hope. This wasn't merely a tactical report. It was a desperate plea, a final audacious attempt to yank the empire back from the precipice. His work, now known as De Rebus Bellicis, concerning military matters, was a direct appeal, a stark warning, and a radical vision delivered straight to the emperor's desk. He didn't just propose minor reforms. He outlined an entirely new philosophy of war, a complete overhaul of Rome's military and economic strategy. Imagine the audacity, an unknown voice, challenging centuries of tradition, daring to suggest that the very foundations of the empire needed to be rebuilt, brick by agonizing brick. His manuscript wasn't just text. It was alive with detailed, almost fantastical illustrations, bizarre war machines, redesigned fortifications, innovative logistics, a blueprint for a future Rome that no longer relied on sheer brute force, but on ingenuity, speed, and strategic depth. This wasn't just a plan. It was a doomsday manifesto, a final gamble against inevitable oblivion. But here's the crucial question. Who was this ghost of a prophet, and why, with such a magnificent, desperate vision, did his plea fall on deaf ears? The answer lies not just in the decay of Rome, but in the blinding arrogance of its rulers. The anonymity of the De Rebus Bellicis author is more than a historical footnote. It's a psychological puzzle. Why would a man with such groundbreaking ideas, such an urgent message, choose to remain nameless? Was it humility, fear, or something far more complex? Historians have wrestled with this for centuries, each theory more tantalizing than the last. Some believe he was a high-ranking military official, disillusioned by imperial incompetence, risking everything to speak truth to power, someone who knew the inner workings of the legions, the failures of command, the rot from within. Others speculate he was a brilliant engineer, perhaps a civilian, frustrated by the empire's technological stagnation, a genius who saw past the crude tools of his era, envisioning machines that wouldn't be realized for another 1,000 years. Imagine the mind, sketching intricate gears, calculating trajectories, conceiving of armored vehicles in an age of horse and sword. A man ahead of his time, perhaps too far ahead for his contemporaries to comprehend. And then, there's the most chilling possibility, a disillusioned patriot, an idealist who watched his beloved Rome crumble, utterly convinced that his identity would only hinder his message. A man who understood the empire's fatal flaw wasn't just barbarians at the gate, but a profound lack of vision within. But the profound mystery remains. Who was this shadow architect, and what dark secret or personal tragedy forced him to cloak his brilliance in anonymity, leaving us only with his chilling prophecy and a haunting question: if Rome had listened to its anonymous prophet, could history have been rewritten? Some believe the anonymity of the De Rebus Bellicis author was a deliberate act of self-sacrifice. A true patriot, understanding the deep-seated political rivalries and the poisonous envy that infected the Roman court, chose to remove himself from the equation entirely. His message, he must have reasoned, was too vital to be dismissed by personal attacks or factional infighting. He wanted his words to stand on their own merit, stripped of any personality that could become a target. This isn't just a historical footnote, it's a profound lesson in leadership and ego. For our nation, for any nation, to truly progress, sometimes the greatest contributions come from those who seek no glory, no statues, no eternal fame. This was a cry for help, an urgent blueprint for survival, echoing across the centuries, a desperate plea from a genius who knew Rome was dying, and offered a cure, yet without a name to claim glory or shoulder failure. His ideas became a disembodied voice in the wilderness. It forces us to confront a melancholic truth. How many brilliant minds, how many world-changing ideas, have been lost to the sands of time simply because their creators remained unseen? How many crucial warnings like this one were dismissed because they lacked the weight of an established name? The legacy of the unseen hand isn't just about Rome's missed opportunity. It's a universal testament to the power of pure ideas, detached from ego, a testament to the quiet hero who dared to dream of a better future for his people, even if he knew he would never receive credit. But did this anonymity truly protect his message, or condemn it to oblivion? And what happens when a nation, blinded by arrogance, ignores the wisdom spoken from the shadows? The answer, tragically, arrived with the clash of steel and the screams of legionaries. On August 9th, 378 AD, near the city of Adrianople, the Roman Empire suffered a catastrophe so profound, it ripped through the very fabric of its military might. It was not merely a defeat, it was an annihilation. For generations, Roman legions had been the hammer of the world, invincible. At Adrianople, that hammer shattered. Emperor Valens himself, leading 40,000 men, faced a Gothic force perhaps equal in number. But the Romans were exhausted, poorly provisioned, and underestimated their enemy's cavalry. The Goths, fresh and furious, executed a tactical masterpiece. The Roman left flank crumbled first, then the right, the center. A mass of trapped, terrified soldiers was encircled. They were massacred. Valens died on the field. His body never recovered. 2/3 of the Roman army perished. It was a wound from which the Western Empire would never truly recover. A clear, stark injustice. The empire's greed and complacency had cost thousands of innocent Roman lives. Adrianople wasn't just a battle. It was a psychological earthquake. It revealed Rome's vulnerability, its generals' incompetence, and its emperor's fatal hubris. This was the raw, visceral proof that the empire was rotting from within. It was the scream that echoed in the anonymous author's heart, the catalyst for *de Rebus Bellicis. The absolute, horrifying proof that if something didn't change, everything would be lost. This was the moment that perhaps cemented his desperate conviction. I must write this. They must listen. But what if the scale of the impending doom was too vast for one emperor, one capital, one unified will? The very next year, 379 AD, Theodosius I ascended the Eastern throne. He inherited a shattered army and a crisis of faith, yet he would be the last emperor to rule a truly unified Roman Empire. For a brief shining moment, he held the pieces together, but the cracks were already too deep. In 395 AD, after Theodosius's death, the unthinkable happened. The empire officially fractured into two distinct entities, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire, ruled by his two young, utterly inept sons, Honorius in the west and Arcadius in the east. The story of the anonymous general and